We're back! If you guys are coming back from our video that we posted recently, thank you very much. Hope that you subscribed.
Today we're going to be talking about breastfeeding.
Yay!
Trigger warning.
Yeah.
So, literally, if you can't stomach to talk about boobs, then probably you should leave.
Or if you're going to fall into one of the categories which we're going to talk about, which is sexualizing breastfeeding, you can leave now too.
Breastfeeding is hard.
Breastfeeding is very hard, and a lot of people just think that it comes natural and your baby's just gonna like latch onto your boob and it's just gonna be like milk flowing everywhere and it's gonna be like this magical opening loving experience. No.
It sucks.
It's painful.
Very.
And you don't have milk right away, which is something I didn't even know until I was pregnant and my boobs already started leaking.
Yeah, I did know that, but it was a new experience. It was a new experience. Like latching was hard.
Difficult.
My nipples are not, I guess, properly shaped for breastfeeding, so I had to use a nipple shield because Skylar couldn't latch on properly. And the thing that they don't tell you is everybody's nipples are different, and
every baby's gonna latch different, eat different, want to be held in different ways. Some babies don't like the cradle, which is the traditional, which is what I was told in the hospital, which...
Yeah, some of them do like a football hold.
Yeah.
Which is awkward. I tried that. It was hard.
It didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Apparently it works really well for some moms, which is good for them.
Yeah. Also, on top of my nipples not being the right shape, Skylar is what they call a tongue sucker. So she sucks her tongue to the top of her mouth. And that's great once the nipple is in there. But it's not great trying to get the nipple in there when her tongue is not underneath. So she had to be given a pacifier to teach her tongue to go down first. It hurt.
I think we both had very hard first latching experiences. When Bennett was born, he was tongue-tied. We never got it, like, surgically fixed or lasered fixed, none of that stuff. It just naturally broke on its own, which I've never heard of that happening. So I was like, what the hell happened? Why do you sound 6 times louder than you ever did in your whole life? But when he first tried to latch, because he had a tongue tie that was pretty prominent, it was painful. Because when a baby is tongue-tied, the way that they eat, the suction is different. And he obviously eats well, and he sucks really hard. And with that tongue tie, it was just painful. And he didn't latch properly at first because of the tongue tie.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of pain, I think, that goes into breastfeeding. Being so full that you just leak everywhere. It's even the pain when your milk comes in. Like, nobody really talks about that part. Everybody talks about, like, if you dry up or, dry up on purpose or something, how bad it hurts. But nobody really talks about the fact that when your milk comes in, every single time, it feels like somebody is pulling your hair through.
It feels like if you could imagine having, like, 10,000 strings drenched in hot sauce, lit on fire, pulling through your nipple. That's what it feels like.
That's accurate.
And it also feels like that every time when they initially latch on, every time that they eat.
For me, it doesn't hurt as bad, but
no, and you kind of get used to the pain. At this point, it's not nearly as bad, but I think that's more of just because I'm used to it and I expect it.
So the other thing that comes along with breastfeeding is clogged ducts. That can lead to mastitis, which is basically an infection in the clogged duct. That's incredibly painful and can make you very sick. I did not have one, but you did.
I did not get mastitis from mine, but I did get a clogged duct, and it was literally one of the worst pains that I've ever felt in my whole life. So before I go to bed every night, I pump, and then I also pump in the morning, usually, or at least I try to. Sometimes I just don't. And I didn't pump that night before I went to bed, so I just went to bed. And I woke up with searing hot pain. Like, it literally felt like there was a little person inside of my boob taking a 1,000-degree knife and just digging it into my chest and digging it and digging it and digging it persistently and would not stop. So I called my mom, and she came and she looked at it, and she said that it looked like I had a clogged duct and I needed to get in the shower and get under the hot water and rub the crap out of it. So when I did that and I found the exact spot where it was clogged and I pushed on it, I lightly pushed on it, I literally vomited because it hurt so bad. But I ponied up and I rubbed the crap out of it and it did go away. But even after I rubbed it, it still hurt for days. It didn't hurt like that, but it still hurt for days. And I haven't gotten another one. So hopefully I won't have to do that again. But it was horrible.
Sounds like it's rough. But speaking of pumping, you have too much milk.
How about we just talk about milk supply in general? Because something that a lot of people don't understand is that milk supply completely wavers from person to person. Not every woman carries or can make the same amount of milk in the same hour. It's completely different. And even in your own person, as somebody who's breastfeeding, your supply goes like this all the time.
In the morning, you've got a whole bunch, By evening time, less. We're best friends. We do a lot of stuff together, but we are polar opposite in a lot of things as well. And one of those things has been milk production. Danielle's had so much that, Bennett can only eat for a few minutes at a time or he gets drowned. Whereas, Skylar has to eat for 45 minutes to get the same amount of food out. And,
And acid reflux is fun, too.
The struggle between both is hard, Everybody assumes that when your milk comes in, everybody has the same amount of milk and everything's
wonderful and rainbows and sunshine coming out of your asshole.
It's not.
Just love spewing out of your nipples. No. Don't get me wrong. The experience and the bond that you get with your baby when they latch and when they eat and knowing that, you're supplying things for them and, that's really great. But that only goes so far with the pain.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a great experience and it's a very loving experience, but at the same time, that only goes so far when you're miserable and it hurts.
You don't know whether to be happy or sad. Are you happy?
He's tired.
Is it nighttime? No nighttime? If you guys tuned in to my vlog yesterday, then you will know that in the best interest of Skylar, we decided to stop breastfeeding. You guys can definitely go check that video out to see, kind of the reason why, but mostly the struggle that I had with not having enough milk is not everybody makes milk.
Majority of women actually can't produce.
Yeah.
And that's not something anybody advertises or really talks about.
Because they don't want to be the person that's like, I never made any milk. And I actually know a couple of people that never did.
I can't say it,
Statistics.
Yeah. That word. Is 70% of women don't produce.
Or if you do, you end up like me. And a few of my friends that we made the milk, we did our best, we tried for a few months, and we dried up. For me, it's not painful because I'm not doing it intentionally. Some people decide, whatever, I'm not going to breastfeed, I'm just going to do formula, and that's great. And then the process of deciding to dry up is very painful. But when you just do it naturally and you can't do anything about it, I'm still dealing with that emotionally.
On that note, actually, I'm going to stop you right now. I don't want to see any mom hate or mom shame. As long as your baby is getting the nutrients that they need, why does it matter where it comes from? Even if you can breastfeed and you're doing great and you just decide that you don't want to have that commitment anymore and you go to formula, great, good for you.
We, as moms, are doing our absolute best. My story of breastfeeding was cool, you made it 3 months and we can't do any more. Bottle feeding does open up a lot of possibilities. Other people can feed them, you know, if you need to get something done in the house and your mom comes over and can watch the baby and feed the baby, and you can get more stuff done rather than having to stop every 2 to 3 hours to take care of the baby.
Not just breastfeeding your child is just the only loving experience that you can have. You can ask anybody that's given a baby a bottle. It doesn't matter. Either way, they're happy. They're getting what they need.
And it's a neat experience for other people, too.
Really nice to give that experience to other people, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to share that experience with your husband.
With their grandmas, too,
Yeah.
you know? And it's nice for mom, too.
Yeah.
I don't have to be a vending machine all day long. But there's also the struggle of not taking a bottle.
When you breastfeed, yes, you can pump and give your baby in a bottle, which is great, which is fantastic, except when they refuse to take a bottle. Bennett will only take a bottle very, very conditionally, aka he will scream in your face for 45 minutes before he will finally decide that he is hungry enough to take it. He has only successfully taken a bottle 3 times. If I can avoid him having to go through that and it stresses them out.
It does.
And even if he takes the bottle, when I get there, that's the first thing that he wants to do is he wants to nurse. He wants to, like, make sure it's still there.
You know, a lot of people, I don't know if any of you guys knew this, but babies sometimes comfort nurse. They're nursing because they're really stressed out. They need that comfort and they need that smell of mom all up in their nose. And for Bennett, it's really traumatizing to take a bottle. He's very mommy attached, and so that's tough for him already, you know, that his mom is not there, his mom's not the one holding him, and then somebody's trying to stick a plastic nipple in his face.
He did not want anything to do with it if it was plastic. He occasionally took a pacifier when he was first born, but now he won't take it at all. If you manage to get it in his mouth, he'll literally go and chew it out at you.
And it sucks, you know, for Danielle, she's up every 2 to 3 hours. For me, I sleep all night. And I do get that little bit of a break now. Yeah.
I'm a little envious, actually.
I feel bad.
Learn how to run on, like, 3 solid hours of sleep.
Yeah.
When my husband is home, it's not that he doesn't want to help, it's that he can't. It's not worth it for me to make both of them struggle and be upset and him to be screaming and unconsolable to get him to take a bottle. That doesn't make any sense when I'm literally upstairs, and if he starts crying and screaming, I'm gonna wake up anyways.
The elephant in the room. His name is Ralph. But on an actual note, let's talk about the sexualization of breastfeeding.